Iranian government, at one point, as its history shows, they will start negotiating with the US. Now, why aren't they doing it now? Because Iranian regime, Islamic regime is, the ruling elites of Islamic regime are decidedly, clearly divided into three major factions. And those three major factions, they are struggling against each other. In fact, their struggle is bloody. But we don't see, because it's not happening in Tehran, Tabriz, and Mashhad. It's happening in Basra. When two Shiite militia groups are attacking each other, they are playing proxy wars of Iranian factions. Factions within Iranian government are not fighting their war in Tehran. It's very bloody. They're fighting in Basra. They're fighting in Karbala. It's called proxy wars. The US is very famous for proxy wars. 5 major wars between India and Pakistan was a war between Soviet Union and United States, except it was proxy war. Why not compromise now? Because conservatives, led by a faction which is represented by Ahmadinejad, they would like to have dominant domain when it comes to compromise. And the other two factions, they like to come to White House, but without Ahmadinejad. And Ahmadinejad would like to meet Condoleezza Rice without the other factions. In the United States too. The Democrats, they like to do something, but not with the Republicans. They always talk about bipartisanship, bipartisanship. Let us forget about party differences. But they never really negotiate with outsiders together. One conclusion that I have by studying the present situation worldwide, especially in connection with the Middle East and Iran, is that anti-war movement and world public opinion, they should not say that, well, war is over. For the following reason, the way Benab explains, then the United States is not going to invade Iran. No, war is part of metabolism of US government. In other words, at one time, it used to be that military industrial complex was always aiming to enhance the goals, economic, political goals of US government. But today, that's not the case. Military industrial complex, by making alliance with media, military industrial media complex, has become part of US metabolism of US empire. So it's very important to go back again in history that good number of wars did not start with Republican Party, started with Democratic Party. Yugoslavia was not divided, polarized into 7 distinct independent countries from each other by Republicans. It was done by Clinton. American special forces started landing on Vietnamese lands in 1962 and 63, not by Johnson, not by Nixon, by John F. Kennedy. That was the beginning of American involvement in Vietnam. Simply, American failure in Iraq is not going to put an end to war. The war will go on. World public opinion. In my opinion, today in the world, there is not one superpower. We have two superpowers. Already, the second superpower that I'm talking about is 100% formed and enjoys all the features of any superpower, and that is world public opinion. There was a time at the peak of Vietnam War. If you went to Latin America, Asia, and Africa, peoples of those countries, they didn't like United States. United States had no prestige in those countries. But United States had a lot of prestige, a lot of credibility in Europe, especially in Western Europe, in Scandinavian countries, in Southern Europe, Italy, Spain, France. But today, United States is suffering from the lowest score of prestige in those countries. Already in two countries, Belgium is one of them, and Norway is another, that Cheney cannot visit those two countries. He will be subjected to citizen arrests. And in fact, inside the United States, we have two. There is a district now in San Francisco. The city council of that district in San Francisco, 6 months ago, they voted against Condoleezza Rice and Cheney, that if these two people come to that district, they can be arrested. So that is possible. So world public opinion is a major now superpower. Now, I'm not saying just simply demonstrations. What is happening in Latin America? In the last 3 years, 7 major countries in Latin America, starting with Venezuela, already they came out with new constitutions against globalization, against NAFTA, against any type of unequal relation, especially in economic arena with the United States. I think the topic of our tonight's presentation, who benefits the war? War always benefits certain elements of society. Halliburton is a transnational company in every sense of the word. Transnational not because Halliburton is operating in Germany, in Iraq, in Russia, and China. That's one way to look at Halliburton as transnational. Halliburton is transnational in production too. At the beginning of the year 2003, Halliburton was number 126 in ranking corporation. Now it is within the first 20. It's tremendous change, Halliburton. No wonder Halliburton literature shows that they have a tendency, as I said, it's transnational, not only because they go beyond the United States, they go to China or Russia. No, but within the United States, in terms of their diversity in production, is transnational.